This is Jogglesticker. I wanted to show you some ideas that I've been developing for juggling sticks. So let's get started. Okay, this one here you can see has a tapered center, so it's a little thinner in the middle than where the notches are. And that angle gives you a little bit better grip. I also added some ground pumice and glued it on with Mod Podge, so there's a little bit more friction on the surface to again help with the throwing and the catching. But the glue ends up smoothing out a lot of the roughness, and it's still a bit slippery, so I wasn't really happy with the way the grip came out on this. This one I also cut on the wood lathe, and you can see the notches there. I've actually made into little discs. It's almost like a shelf that the hand stick can throw and catch from. And this provides you a lot more consistency about a specific throwing point. It's like having a fretted guitar instead of fretless. You're not sure exactly where the spot is without the frets, but this gives you a reference point to always come back to and build up some consistency to a specific throw point. And of course it makes it a lot easier. You can throw this with so much more force because of the grip. It really plays like an entirely different stick. This stick was also cut on a wood lathe, and I added a rubber ring to the base there so I wouldn't crack those notches off. And you can also see the textured grip. That's a liquid latex. Product I used was called Plastic Dip. It's a rubbery coating, which I also added pumice stone to, and the combination of those two makes a fantastic grip. So there's a lot of friction here, and of course you still have the discs to throw from as a reference point, and that'll give you a lot of force when you're leveraging that up into the air. I also added a racquetball to the end, and I just cut the hole to match the size of the ends here and slip that right on. This part and on the opposite side is vulnerable to cracking and splitting and breaking the racquetball open. So on this model I added a tennis ball to the end, just popped it on the end there, and this ring is a piece of leather. The problem working on a wood lathe is just the amount of time it takes. Not to mention accessing a wood lathe. They're not the most common woodworking tool, but it takes several hours to shave this down from a larger dowel. And I try to develop a new way to get these rings onto a dowel, and so I worked with different types of materials. This one I tried to tape on. This one I tried to tape the rings onto a PVC pipe, and I wasn't really happy with the way that came out. You can see another version of that here, where I have a PVC. Actually, this one's a wooden dowel, and then I added some rings and tape. But there's no grip here, and there's really no shelf either. So the stick flies off quite readily from those notches. And finally, I hit upon the idea to cut a ring out of a larger dowel, and then cut the center to match the main stick tube. And when you slide those into place, secure them with some super glue, and then add the rubberized texture coating and racquetballs. You end up with a really nice juggling stick. It's made out of PVC, so you can kick that really high up into the air, it won't break. And it doesn't even matter so much if you get this textured coating here, which is nice for the grip on the stick, but again, your stick's gonna naturally fall to the rings,